911. It's a number dialed over 240 million times each year. In all cases, those cries for help are answered by trained professionals, and many of them are NENA certified ENPs. Let's talk to one of them, unedited and completely off the cuff.
Are you positive he's breathing?
No.
Okay, and he's blue?
Yeah.
Okay, then there's a good chance he's not breathing. Is there somebody else there that can do CPR?
Oh my God.
911, what's your emergency?
NENA, the National Emergency Number Association, and the NANCI-approved Standards Development Organization, has created the Emergency Number Professional Accreditation, specifically for public safety professionals. ENP certification establishes the benchmark for performance, signifying a broad-based competence in the public safety field. Successful certification completion demonstrates an individual's mastery of the knowledge base requirements for an emergency management position. So join me as we talk to yet another new ENP, unedited and completely off the cuff. Hey, it's Fletch. Welcome to this special episode. I don't even know what to call this. Because it's not True Confessions of an ENP, because this person is not an ENP. Matter of fact, this person's not even a member of NENA, because this person happens to live on the other side of the world. And actually, you know what? You should be upside down right now, based on where you are. I'm going to turn the camera. So, Kat Metcalfe, you have been in technology for decades. I've known you for decades. You've been a product manager. You've been a technologist. You've been everything working for major global corporate organizations. Monday, or when? Next Monday, you are starting as a emergency communications telecommunicator in Australia.
Yeah.
On the other side of the world. What's up? How did you get there from here?
Well, yeah, Fletch, it's been 27 years. So this is a bit of a shift left situation for me, I guess. I got made redundant from Avaya at the start of February. And straight away, I was like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? The job market's not that great at the moment. You know, what in the world can I do using what I've learned over a long period of time? And I happened to look on my local job postings board, and there was this advert for emergency, I don't even know what they called it, customer service agent for the police link it's called. So that's over here, it's 000. You obviously have 911, we have 000. And it basically
what's up with that? We'll talk about that later, but I can't figure that out. But anyway.
000. And that's basically answering the phone and directing whoever's calling the police. They have 5 lines, right? So there is 000, and then there's 4 other lines that I'll have to answer as well. Inquiries, sort of like we have this, if you spot a criminal that you think, you need to know about, then they call a different line. Or these other lines that I've got to answer as well. So
that's called the Fletcher hotline, by the way. I get my own special number over there.
But seriously, I wasn't prepared for the hoops that I had to jump through in order to get the job. So, bearing in mind, I've been an executive for a long period of time. I guess I've been used to a nice, not cushy job, but a nice job that's kept me involved. And I've been doing it over the years, and I've had a reasonable salary for it. And suddenly I'm going into this role that really does not pay anywhere near what I've been used to, but yet the struggle that I had to get in was worse than a few of the other interviews I've been doing, right? It was hard yards. I had to do assessment after one-way video, after assessment in a room, assessment with a load of other people, team building, and then panel interviews for, answering the phone. So I was really proud that I managed to get through all of that. And then blow me down, 2 weeks before you start, they send you 29 pages of short code abbreviations that you have to learn to get 100% on your first day. no possible failure, right? You fail, you're out.
That's unbelievable.
So, yeah, 29 pages, and it's 9 weeks of training. So it's not, I wouldn't even get that going into any other role. This is full on, hold your hand. You have to listen to what's going on. You have to go through all the procedures. I kind of think that I'll be okay answering the phone because it's an Avaya system. So I kind of think I should be okay with one part of it.
Have they asked you to come in and fix stuff yet?
I'm expecting it. I'm expecting that one. So like I said, I think it's 9 weeks training. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I won't need 9 weeks. Maybe they'll see that I'm ready before. No, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to involve. And they're making me work on a public holiday in my first week.
Of course, that's the job. It's public safety. You don't get a holiday. Come on. What do you don't get a family life. You don't get holidays off. Wait till they find out you have something to do. They'll book you for overtime that day.
But the thing is, the public holidays are the worst times, right? That's when everyone's out there drinking. That's when all the trouble starts. That's when the police are at their busiest, right? And I didn't expect that there would be training opportunities on a public holiday in the first week. But no, I've got a training opportunity on the first week. So yeah,
that is the best time to just jump in with both feet. I mean, come on.
I guess they did actually during the assessment, one of the group assessments that we did, they did play us 3 calls, right? And they were 3 calls to shock us. They were 3 calls to shock us, to get us to realize what we were actually getting ourselves in for, right? Because, you think about it, I'm just answering the phone, I'm just helping this out. But no, you said it, people's lives are on the line. There are situations that you are going to be open and exposed to that are, going to need real patience, real, making sure that you can cope with that kind of situation. And you could see people were in tears in the room when they heard those calls.
Really?
Because it was really, it was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. So, that whole process to even get to the job was obviously getting people out of the way that weren't going to be able to take the calls, basically. So
it's difficult, and a lot of agencies will do what they call a sit along, kind of like a ride along, but you sit along and you listen in under the headset, and a lot of people just take the headset off, put it down, and go, "This is not for me," and that's okay. No one's twisting your arm,
right?
But it takes a special person to be able to deal with that side of it, and then deal with I got to work on the holidays, and I have no family life, and I'm not getting paid but a third of what a normal person would get paid for doing anything close to this. And I'm getting constantly berated by the public because I'm public enemy number 1. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, they played one of those. They played a guy who was just shouting obscenities down the phone. And it's like, you've got to be able to handle that. You've got to have a thick skin and just cut through that and just, deal. But I tell you what I have been doing. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Ambulance. I think it's a program called Ambulance, right? Because, one of those, real life ones, I know you've got them in the US as well, Cops or whatever it is. Yeah. But I'm watching them so that I can see the call centers, so that I can see what they're having to deal with, right? And I really feel that it's kind of helped prepare me a little bit, because when you go for the interviews, you don't actually get to see the call center. You get kind of hustled into a side room. You get, you don't actually get to see that command center. So I'm kind of interested to see what that's going to be looking like as well. Because you're right, I'm a geek, right? I'm curious about all the flashing lights, all the noises, all the desks and everything. I want to see what it's like. And Fletch, this goes back to, when we worked with each other before, emergency communications. That stuff really, I felt so passionate about that. It really made me want to be involved with it. I love security. I love that whole technology side about security. I thought about joining the police when I was younger, but I got into tech, right? I got into tech. So that whole area really excites me. So whilst this is a job for maybe not the rest of my life, it's a job that I am feeling passionate and excited about, because I feel that I'm going to learn something. You know, I will learn something else. I'll be able to help people. Hopefully, everything that I've learned over the last God knows how many years doing my job will keep me calm, you know, give me some empathy, help me with people. And, you know, I will just perfect those skills by being on the phone. So I'm seeing it as like a stepping stone of a bit of a shift left, but also helping me still go in the right direction, you know? Do you think
you
that's
might
right?
want to get back in the technology field?
I don't think it will do me any harm, because it will help me hone in on those skills that I need to be a good leader, right? That active listening, that empathy, that knowing how to deal with a crisis, knowing how to be, you know, straightforward, but knowing how to deal with things. So I think it will help me be a better person and a better leader. I hope that it doesn't sort of like hinder me with anything, because that's obviously a fear. That's my fear, is like, oh, she's already got a job, she doesn't need one. Well, no, I'm here, you know, I still want a tech job, but I really feel that I can do something else during the time where people are picking up my resume, shoving it directly back to me saying rejected, or yeah, you can come for an interview, but we can't see you for a few weeks, and then you don't hear anything for another 6 weeks, you know. So all of that time I could be using my skills for something else. And that's what I want to do.
Well, you know, when I got out of high school, I got involved in public safety as a dispatcher and a special officer. And then I got into technology, but I really loved the public safety side. And what I found was I love doing technology for public safety. And that really gives me the passion to do what I want to do. And, you know, I always knew you were into public safety, because whenever you and I used to talk a decade ago, you were always like hanging out a little too close to me, wondering what I was doing. And I'm like, she digs the public safety side.
Absolutely. I really.
But I knew you were a geek too.
Yeah. Well, I love the tech side, really get it. And one of the areas that I've really gone into over the last, I want to say 10 years, is that security side, right? So, you know, even some of the work that I did with my teams in Avaya was certainly on that security aspect. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we did hackathons and everything like that, because that, again, really interested me. So, you know, on the back of the emergency communications, the whole security, you know, the whole, oh, you know, we're in the US government was a real thrill as well, you know, sending people into certain agencies that we can't name, all that sort of stuff. I just found it really exciting, you know. So, and the fact that, you know, it's in the call center where I'm going on Monday, again, it's like I can actually see it being used. That's something that I didn't have before, really. I didn't have that view of actually, you know, seeing it on the other side. So I'll be on the other side, which will be really nice. So I can see whether it actually works or not.
When I was product manager and doing stuff at Nortel and Avaya, I loved going out to the centers to seeing the technology in use, because that's where the use cases were. That's where the problems were. That's where I need to do this because I need to do this was. And without seeing that and touching it and feeling
you don't get it. You don't get it.
Yeah. And I had the basis where I understood what they were doing, so I could watch and things would make sense. And then I could take back a ton of knowledge back. And then I had to make all the other guys understand who'd never been in the centers, right?
So you pick up on something that I feel pretty strongly about. So for the last few years, I know we haven't been as close the last few years. I've been actually running development teams, right? And those guys don't get to see the real world use.
No.
So one of my things about being a leader, even a manager, whatever you want to call me, is to try and get them to understand where they really make a difference to the business, where they make a difference to the customer. And I guess that's what I'm also taking to, you know, working in a 000 call center. That's the difference that I'm going to make to the customer, and I'll actually see it in real life. So I'm kind of, you know, I was talking the talk and now I'm walking the walk, because I'm doing it myself. But I do find that, you know, in tech companies, the people that are doing all of that software engineering never get to see. They never get to see the real life scenario. And as a leader, I always want to try and get them, because you never know. Maybe that's not their ultimate role. You may find that, they're really good at customer relations, customer experience. They're really good at the pre-sale side. If they go out there and start talking to the customer and learning all about, you could be, really developing their careers for them. So that I felt really strongly as a leader. So this gives me another side of, I can also see other areas that people can, be in. So hopefully it will help me as a leader sort of see different areas for other people's careers too.
Yeah, and that's what I think some of the agile, workflow stuff around product management, they do user stories and use cases. It's all built to try to make up for that lack of field experience and the touchy-feely kind of stuff. But I'm thinking, okay, why don't you just take these people and put them in that environment with someone and let them watch for themselves? Do we need to do all this paperwork and management? I don't know. That was invented by somebody that had a copyright, I think,
But, you said it earlier, ride along. Why, as part of a career progression thing, you do ride along because you get to see what it's like in the real world. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. No, I was working on something a few years ago with Brian Anderson, who was my boss at Avaya, and we were working on a feature for public safety, and we're working with the R&D teams, which were offshore, and we just weren't getting what we needed. And we said, we need to get somebody who understands 911. So we had a conference call with some guy, and he's on there, and it was clear he just wasn't getting it. And we're like, we thought you had 911 experience. He said, oh, yeah, I've called 911 several times. Oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, that's not going to work, but that's just the epitome of what it was. So, and we ended up working around it. But so I got to ask you, 000 in Australia.
Yeah.
How is that network set up? Do you have a national call center? Because Australia is huge.
Right. It's not. It's by state. So 000 goes to the local state, whichever state you're in. So I'm going to be part of the New South Wales, which is Sydney, and all around Sydney, New South Wales call centre. So Victoria, Melbourne, they have their own. So whatever it must triangulate through to the local state. That's how.
Well, that's all the carrier stuff doing the carrier routing, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how 911 works today. Legacy 911. It's based on, the selective router zones, and it's a service area and blah blah blah. Okay, that's easy. That's just hard wiring. Next gen changes all that.
I don't know where 000 came from, right? Because if you think about Australia, it's mostly, the British came over. Now in England, it was 999.
999, right? Yeah.
And then in Europe, it's
which I can tell you. Do you know why it was 999?
No, tell me.
This was great, and I got this from the horse's mouth. John Metland, who was a longtime BT guy, he explained to me back in the legacy rotary pulse days.
Yep.
Dialing digits was make-break connections on the line, right?
Right.
Rotary phone, tick, 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 tick. If they made the number for emergency services 999, loose connections blowing in the wind wouldn't replicate 3 9s in a row very often. But if it was 111, a loose wire flapping in the wind would be calling 111 all day long. Is that crazy or what?
That's mental. I never knew that. That's cool.
Yeah. That's mental. I love talking to you, Kat.
So, do you know how the Europeans got? Because are they 112?
112 is in the EU.
Yeah. So why did they go 112? Do you know that story?
I don't know the reason specifically, but I know that's they wanted something simple to dial, quick to dial, and yet you don't want 3 1s because that's easily misdialed. So 112 was just what they came up with as being the common number for the EU. Because
Is it,
they
I mean,
needed a common number. I mean, there are some countries where there are 4, 5, 6 different numbers for emergency services.
oh,
India
really?
is ridiculous.
Right.
It's, if you're over 65 and you're on state welfare and you're a male, you dial this number. I mean, not quite that, but, close to it.
So, I mean, over here, all of our cell phone numbers start with a 0, right? So we're dialing 000. So you can imagine, I think that they must get quite a lot of like mistake calls as well, because it's along the same lines as any other number that they would be dialing.
Wow.
So that to me doesn't really make logical sense to me. And I think that's going to be one of my problems going into this job, right? Because looking at even the short codes and everything, I'm already questioning why they have certain short codes, because it doesn't make logical sense. And I have to remember on Monday that I'm just a lowly call taker with no managerial voice to sort of get continuous improvement done. So
do they know who they hired?
This is the problem. I'm going to have to be very careful about, okay, I can't say that. I'm just here to take the calls. I'm just here to help people, because I want to change, because a lot of it doesn't make logical sense. And, that's a clear case in point, the 000. It doesn't seem to make logical sense to me. But it is what it is, and that's what people know.
Bring Band-Aids, because you're going to be biting your tongue all day long. I know you.
Yeah, I'm not one to stay quiet either. So
No. I want to know how long you're going to last. This doesn't make sense.
Can we do it a bit differently? Do you think we could change the whole police force just to do this one thing?
Oh boy, that's too funny. So now you are a rebel rouser. You're a much better looking rebel rouser than me. See, I can't get away with it because I'm not good looking and I'm a pain in the neck. At least you've got a nice smile.
Thanks,
People will feel bad if they yell at you.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, I've never been in that kind of environment. Is it going to be that kind of environment where people are so stressed that there is going to be shouting? Was there shouting when you were doing that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. You're going to get screamed at up, down, and sideways.
Wow. Okay.
And some of it's going to be by the callers.
Great. Okay.
No.
I have to learn. So one of the key things, and you can tell me about this one. One of the key things they want me to learn is the map. So I've got to learn where all the towns are in New South Wales.
Sure.
Now, not coming from here. Yes, I've been here a few years now, but I'm still quite bad at knowing where everything is. I still don't even know my local community properly. So there's a lot for me to learn in terms of where's this town in New South Wales, where's that town in New South Wales. I don't know everything. So for me, that's going to be a steep learning curve. Whereas for some people that will be joining, they'll have grown up with knowing where those things are.
Sure.
So that could be kind of interesting, because New South Wales is not a small area. Like you said, Australia is not a small place. New South Wales is not small. It takes us, 15 hours to drive to the north of the state. So, it's going to be interesting.
So let me ask you, you said that you're doing police, you're not doing medical or fire. Are there different numbers for different things, or do you take all the calls, and is it 000 police, fire, medical?
Yeah, so it's 000 police, fire, medical, and then I don't know if that's me on the receiving end of what comes through the police, and that's what I deal with. I don't know. I'll find out more on Monday, I would imagine.
Oh, okay. So you might just be taking the calls that have already been pre-screened for police.
Yes, potentially.
Now, are you dispatching on the radio, or do you just put it in the CAD and send it away?
Both, I think. So I've got to learn dispatch. I've got to learn communication center channels. I've got it all up on my board in front of me here. I've got all these pieces of paper that I'm trying to learn desperately. So I've got to learn my phonetic alphabet, my 24-hour clock, all of the communication centers, all of the abbreviations for the centers, and then all the short codes for everything. So yeah, there's a lot.
Now, when you say short codes, what are they short codes for? Just abbreviations for the incidents, or?
No, even more than that. For the actual, so the stuff that I'll have to type in, like keep a lookout for, KL04, right? Male short code, female short code, and all of that sort of thing. What did I see? Bomb disposal unit, deceased. All of that type. They've all got their short abbreviations, and that's what you type in, that then gets sent out to the police units.
Gotcha. Now, when somebody calls 000, what do you get on your console, or don't you know? Or
I don't know. I'll find out. We need to have a follow-up, right? We should have a follow-up in a few weeks when I tell you all about this, because I don't know. All I've done, like I said, we didn't even get to see the call center. So I've literally been sat in a room doing all these typing assessments. Can I listen to somebody talking to me and type it in properly? If somebody's saying one thing, can I get what somebody else is saying? I haven't had any real world experience yet.
Wow. So far from what I've heard, there's been pretty much parallel evaluation and training. How long has this process taken you so far?
Since the start of February. I literally applied the day I got laid off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's been a lot of training. And you haven't even been in the comm center yet. Have you been getting paid during all this?
No. So you get paid when you start, but you're still training for 9 weeks when you start. So I really haven't been trained. To this point, I haven't been trained. I've just been exposed to the information. So they sent you.
So this has been 9 weeks of hiring process.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, it was jumping through hoops. I never expected it to be so involved. And then I meet all these other people around, if I'm taking my daughter swimming or going to, talk to somebody at school, and I say, I'm applying for this. They go, oh yeah, I applied for that. I didn't get through that part, or I didn't get through that part, or I didn't get through that part. And I'm like, okay, when's my time up? When's my time up? Because it just seems to be that I never met a single person that actually made it through. So I'm very curious as to how many they started with, because they obviously do a big recruitment drive. How many they start with, and how many they actually get through.
I'd love to hear that, because the number is probably very small if it's anything like over here. Very small percentage passer. How old is your daughter now?
I've got 18, 10, and 5.
Oh my God, you got a 5-year-old. I knew about the 10-year, the one that was 10 and the one that was 18. When we first met, you had just had your 18-year-old. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. You're making me feel old now. So what do they think about this? Mom's a 000 dispatcher.
Yeah, they really haven't said anything. I've kind of not spoken about it too much because, like I said, I'm still looking for a job that's really about me, not about what's inside of me, the passion is there. So I'm still looking for that job that I know is going to take me back to where I really was, rather than this side gig that may become my long term. I never know. If I really love it, you never know, right?
Well, I'm so happy to hear that, because if you do really love it, I would love for you to stay with it and get into a management role and a supervisory and a technology role. The departments have to have technology directors within them, right?
They absolutely do. But when they put those jobs out, invariably they don't go to people outside of government, right? They don't go to people outside. They go to
but now you're in the government.
Now I'm in there, but then I've got to wait for a year, because the probationary time's a year, right? I've got to wait for a year before I can even go into that. So what I want to find out is, if I start in this training and I see that there's a job come up that I think that I'd be good for, can I apply for that? Or do I have to wait a year? I don't know.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's the double-edged sword, Kat, because if you do really good to where your bosses like you, then they're not going to want to let you go. And if you do really bad, your bosses are not going to like you, and you're never going to get recommended. Well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. That's it.
Absolutely. I hope it won't be like that. I don't think it will.
I am so excited to hear your view in a week once you walk into this place and you go, what the hell did I get myself involved in?
Well, there's that old story, the grass is never greener, right? And I assume, I keep sort of repeating that to myself, and sort of, I think that's going to be the same. It's not going to be perfect.
Right,
there are going
right.
to be there are going to be bumps along the way, and it's going to be a steep learning curve. And I just hope that I've got the mental capacity to handle everything that gets thrown my way.
Well, that's always the challenge, and that doesn't change no matter where you are in the world. Unfortunately, I've got friends that are dispatchers and call takers over in the UK, in the Netherlands, here in the States. You're my first Australian, but woohoo! But it's the same everywhere you go. I mean, it's no respect, little pay, lots of hours, got to work holidays, and I have no idea what my day is going to be tomorrow. But that's what they love about it as well. I don't know what my day is going to be tomorrow.
And to be honest, that was what I loved about my job before. I never had a day that was the same. I was always doing something different or challenging myself to come up with something else. So I want to get back into doing that. I don't want to be sitting at home twiddling my thumbs just looking for a job either. So this obviously gives me something to use my brain cells for, right, on a daily basis. I don't like sitting.
They will come when you will make a difference in someone's life, whether it's an officer or a constituent. You'll be making a difference in somebody's life. You'll get that feedback, which doesn't always happen, but you will. And then nothing will make you feel any better than that. And that's when you'll be hooked and you'll just crave that.
Awesome.
Can't wait for you to experience that. And you're going to go, oh my God, Fletch, this is fantastic. I know you. I know how you are. And it's the technology, it's the life-saving, and it's the self-satisfaction. It's going to grab a hold of you one day, Kat, and you're going to go, oh my God, why didn't I do this 10 years ago?
Awesome. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. I'm so, when you told me this today, I was so excited. First of all, I was excited to hear from you because it's been forever.
Yep. Been a while.
And then when you told me what you were doing, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I haven't told people, right? I haven't sort of got the megaphone out and said, this is what I'm going to do, because like I said, I still want to find something that's me.
We're doing a podcast right now, right?
I know we're doing a podcast.
This is going on the internet, right? You're aware of that.
I posted on LinkedIn earlier. I thought, now's the time for me to sort of tell people this is what I'm going to do. But I think that it's a positive, right? I just think all the way around, it's something that can help me and help others too. So absolutely, no doubters about it.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm proud of you. I can't tell you how proud of you I am. And, I've always respected you. You're an incredibly smart person. You're a wonderful technologist. You've got great ideas. I've always admired you. I had the chance to go over there twice, and both times the trip got nixed. But I was so excited because I'm probably going to hang out with Kat. But that never happened. But you've always been a distant hero of mine. And now you told me this today, and I'm so happy I can't tell you.
Thank you, Fletch.
Because now we're public safety buds.
That's it. Now we have to be in touch even more often, right?
Absolutely. So I want to hear what day one was all about. I don't want to hear, I'm done with this. That's not going to happen day one. You're going to give it at least a month. Promise me.
Absolutely.
Pinky swear.
Oh, yeah, that's not me.
Pinky swear.
You know.
Pinky swear.
Right. Don't give up.
I know you don't. But this is new. This is something you've never even dreamt about before. You have no idea, but I'm so proud that you're going to take this on.
Yep.
You're going to love it. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be hooked. We're going to talk a year from now. We'll talk a lot more between them, but we're going to talk a year from now, and we're going to laugh about you were even thinking about this might not be the right thing for you.
You're on.
All right.
It's a date, Fletch.
Kat, it's been wonderful. Wonderful talking to you. It's been, we're going to definitely have to catch up and stay in touch. My friend, best wishes. Thank you. You're doing something wonderful. And James Winterbottom and everybody else that I still know over in Australia is going to be super excited. Get involved with Ina over there.
Okay. Whatever it takes.
Tell him I sent you.
I'm passionate. I'm telling you, I'm passionate about it, right?
I know you're passionate about whatever you do. Get involved in Ina.
Oh.
Make a difference. Show them what they're. Don't be afraid to say this could be better. Don't say you're doing it wrong. This could be better. I've built this better. I know how to do this. Listen to me.
Okay.
I can't wait. I'm so excited for you, Kat. All right, well, listen, this has been a super special treat. I was just thinking the other day, I need something new for a podcast that I haven't done yet. And this is it. So you've been delivered to me. All right, well, listen, have a great time. Best of luck. Love to the family.
Talk to you soon, Fletch.
All right, cheers.
G'day.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Off the Cuff, Confessions of an ENP. I'm Mark Fletcher, ENP, and I'm the Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. Off the Cuff is sponsored by 911 Inform, delivering next-generation 911 solutions to the enterprise today and making every second count. Visit them on the web at 911inform.com. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Fletch911. Check out all my blogs and podcasts at Fletch.tv. And be sure to like and subscribe below. That way you'll be immediately notified whenever a new podcast is published. Thanks so much for listening. If you're in public safety, thanks for what you do. Take care and have a great day.